نحن أقسمنا يمينا أن نضحي أو نرى الإسلام شرعا ونظاما.
A losing deal. He sat before her, smitten, to tell her that I love you to the point of worship, and that you are my indispensable life. It's true they were in the early days of their engagement, but he kept assuring her that love is like an electric current, whose ignition needs more preparation. And she listened to him happily, sensing the flattering words with a touch of vanity. He said that he would rent a large, luxurious house befitting the magnitude of the happiness he felt, and he also said that they would spend their honeymoon abroad, because his wife's life, built on such a vast reservoir of love, could only be begun in the resorts of Paris. He spoke passionately, filling his speech with words of love and admiration, and she was lost in her dreams, which were beginning to come true in this fiancé. She noticed strands of her hair flying across her forehead, so she raised her hand to smooth it, saying coquettishly, "He wants to finalize the marriage contract as soon as possible. He no longer finds meaning in life without her." He also said he marvels at how he managed to live the past years of his life away from her, for she has become the center of his happiness and the source of his joy. He said he will rent a large, luxurious house befitting the magnitude of his happiness, and he also said they will spend their honeymoon abroad, because his wife's life is built upon such a vast reservoir of love, and nothing but the summer resorts of Paris are fitting to begin it. "You were in such a hurry to leave that I didn't even have time to fix my hair." He said, "Your hair is beautiful no matter what, and you look presentable in any case." She smiled proudly, as if she wanted more from him, and said, "You didn't even wait for my new dress to arrive from the tailor." He said, "Didn't I tell you this doesn't matter? I don't care about such things as long as the real goal of having you, my dear, has been achieved." With some enthusiasm, "Are you really like that?" He said, "Yes, and I swear to you by my love that what I say is true." She said, "Then I am happy, as I wished to have a husband who doesn't care about money." He said, "Yes, I am like that, and you will see for yourself the truth of what I say." She was encouraged by his answer and said, "Yes, money is a fleeting thing, and I don't give it any importance in my life. That's why I gave my father all the money I had saved from my salary when I found him in financial difficulty." Here, contrary to his usual quickness in answering, he paused for a moment, but quickly regained his energy and said, "It is kind of you to extend a helping hand to your father, as financial hardship is harsh and unbearable. That's why I doubt our ability to rent a large house." She said, "The important thing in a house is that it be comfortable, whether it is large or small." He said, "Yes, and that it has amenities such as a refrigerator and air conditioning, a washing machine, and the like." She said, "These are things that are bought gradually. We can start with something simple because, as you probably know, my father is not able at the moment to contribute anything significant." He paused for a moment, fiddling with his watch, then raised his head. Visually, the hard square of the right is the Benesite and the Swedes. With a touch of coolness, he said, "Simplicity is beautiful in everything, and that's why we can do without traveling abroad." She said, "Yes, that's best, especially since I'm tied up with some loans and installments." At this point, he couldn't contain himself and said somewhat sharply, "So your salary seems to be going to waste." She said, "Almost." He shifted uncomfortably in his seat and then said, "I, too, am tied up with a lot of debt and loans, and that's why I won't think about marriage right now." Then he stood up, saying, "I'm afraid I won't be able to see you again, and that's why I wish you all happiness and success." He said this and then left as if he were running from a terrifying monster. As if this hadn't been his beloved just moments before, the one he couldn't live without. He approached her, asking for the bill, and she realized he'd left without even paying. Laughing, she said to herself, "I knew it, that's why I piled up this bunch of lies. He's stupid, he missed the fact that I was testing him. And that my bank balance is huge and I'm not tied to any loans. But it's all for the best, it was a losing proposition for me."
أو نرى الإسلام شرعا ونظاما.